What's going on, everybody? Let me be clear to start this video. Coronavirus is a serious pandemic, and we all need to take as much precaution as possible to stay safe. With that said though, getting cabin fever is a real thing. As someone who loves the outdoors, it hits me hard. I'm quarantined at home and all I can think about is salmon fishing or catching a trout at a local pond. The CDC and WHO have recommendations for what activities you can do outside, while exhibiting the 6-foot minimum social distancing length away from others. But I think there's a few more activities, with social distancing of course, that folks can do outside to wade away the cabin fever and get some fresh air either by yourself, with your significant other, your family, your dogs, or whomever in your immediate family. So if you need some safe outdoor activities during the coronavirus quarantine, then you need to watch my top 10 outdoor activities with social distancing during coronavirus quarantine. Number 10, hiking. If there's one activity to keep social distancing and get away from people, it's hiking. You can go see places, get some exercise, and get outdoors. I'd recommend finding hiking paths and trails that are out of your way, as they will have fewer or no people on them. It's most likely that popular trails are either closed or you cannot adhere to the 6-foot social distancing rule. Even with a shelter in place or a stay-at-home policy, there are still some hiking trails open. So before you go, check local maps or local closures. I've had multiple instances where I drove to a spot to hike and the trail was closed. So check your local regulations and updates before you head out for a hike. Pack extra hand sanitizer, wear a mask or cloth over your face, and bring a can of bug spray. I can't emphasize enough, bring a can of bug spray. Number 9, kayaking. If you have a desire to be on the lake, river, or pond, grab a kayak and get paddling. Kayaking can be a great outdoor activity as the weather warms up across the country, but kayaking is also an activity you can do away from people and keep social distancing rules. I went to a local lake a while back and the boat launch was closed, which made casting off the shore with the kayak easy with nobody around. The fewer people you have to contend with on the water, especially boaters, can bring opportunities to easily kayak places that otherwise would be crowded. And don't overlook taking the kayak and floating down a local river. For me, I haven't used the kayak as much to get out and enjoy a day on the water. Not all outdoor activities you can keep social distancing, but you can easily do this when kayaking. So grab the kayak, hit the water, and enjoy a day of exploring and paddling on the water. And as always, wear a life jacket, safety first. Number 8, walk the dogs. As a dog owner of 3 whippets, a daily walk of the dogs is a must. Even during a quarantine or a shelter in place, dogs still need exercise and activity to keep them from going stir crazy as well. Find a time during the day. I recommend early in the morning or late at night to take your dogs out for a walk, even if it's raining. Let them sniff around the neighborhood, mark their territory, and stretch their legs. And if you have kids, bring them along for the walk or have them ride their bike, scooter, or skateboard. Make it a family outing and get everyone some exercise. And remember, avoid dog parks as they are too public of places and not ideal when trying to keep social distancing rules. However, most dog parks are closed to keep people from congregating because it's easy at the park to not keep social distancing. So leash up your pups and get them out for a walk. And just remember to bring extra poo bags when you go out. Don't ask me how I know. Number 7, plant a garden. I've always enjoyed planting a garden or growing vegetables or herbs, and so one of the first outdoor activities I did with my wife when the shelter in place was put into effect was mix up soils and plant some seeds in the raised bed in our backyard. It doesn't take a lot of effort to create a garden or grow things. It just takes a little daily care, watering, and patience, and I guess maybe some sunlight. As a kid, my parents would plant a huge garden at our house every spring with potatoes, carrots, tomatoes, peppers, squash, beets, corn, and a plethora of different herbs. So depending on your living situation, you can plant and grow a huge garden, or maybe grow a couple of herbs or an upside down tomato plant. Yeah, there is such thing as an upside down tomato plant. My grandmother had them at her house and she had some of the biggest tomatoes I had ever seen. Just hang up the plant, water, and watch the tomatoes grow upside down. So get out there and start your garden. And if you're planting with seeds, remember where you put them into the ground and where. Again, don't ask me how I know this. Number 6, yoga on the balcony. I'm new to the yoga thing. I don't hate yoga. I would say it's a challenge for me, which I like very much. The majority of folks in the US have a shelter-in-place policy, which makes it impossible to go to the gym. But if you're looking for some outdoor exercise or creating a new exercise routine, grab a yoga mat and get outdoors for your session. As long as you have a flat surface like a balcony or deck, you can perform those warrior poses and sun salutations. There's plenty of workout apps, YouTube videos, Instagram videos, and even specific yoga apps to guide you through a daily routine. And if you want to make it even more fun, get a bunch of neighbors out on their balconies or decks and lead everyone through a yoga session. Just because you have to stay at home doesn't mean you can't exercise with others. For me, I start my day off with a short yoga session outside for some fresh air and relaxation before work. Now, if only those pesky squirrels would let me do my yoga in peace. Namaste. Number 5. Fishing. If there's ever a time to get out of the house and fish that secret fishing spot nobody knows about, now is the time. Along with activities like walking and running, fishing can be a great outdoor exercise to pass the time. I find fishing has been my go-to activity during the quarantine because I can get some fresh air, bring the wife, and we can avoid the crowds chasing trout, salmon, or steelhead. But let me warn everybody, fishing opportunities could be limited depending on where you live. Washington State, for example, has put a ban on all recreational fishing to avoid people from congregating in areas and not abiding by the social distancing 6-foot rule. And some states have announced that boat docks, boat launches, and fishing areas have been closed over concerns of people congregating in areas and not abiding by the rules. So do your research before heading out to ensure you can fish, the place you want to fish is open, and the fishing area isn't going to be heavily populated. For me, I'll be fishing my secret trout spots and avoiding people altogether. Number 4. Take a scenic drive around. Even with a stay-at-home rule in place, that doesn't mean you can't go for a scenic drive in the car. I wouldn't recommend getting out of the car, but you can grab the keys and hit the road for a little ride around the city or even a quick sightseeing trip. My wife and I have jumped in the car a couple times and taken a short drive out to see what's going on around the city, go enjoy a sunset near the beach, in the car of course, and gone sightseeing near a nature park to watch the bald eagles soar high above the trees and hang out on the tree limbs waiting to spot some dinner and then soar down into the water and grab it. Just remember to bring a pair of binoculars, some extra snacks, and make sure your vehicle has gas. We almost ran out of gas on the last trip, and that's the last thing you would want to happen during a quarantine. And for those of you asking, I still had 1.5 gallons left in the tank. Although my dad has run out of gas a couple of times in the past. Good times, Dad. Next time, let's not walk 4 miles to get gas and just call Mom to bring us some. Number 3. Running. The CDC and WHO both recommend we get out and exercise during the quarantine, and nothing can be better for getting out and exercising than running. Running is an easy activity to keep social distancing as long as you avoid popular trails, paths, and routes. Now, depending on where you live, you may have a bunch of running trails and routes to get out and run a few miles. Others may have more limited opportunities. I'd recommend utilizing Google Maps to find and create a running route that avoids high potential traffic areas where people might be. With so many people in my neighborhood taking their dogs for a walk since the shelter in place went into effect, I had to find a new running route to avoid everyone taking their dogs for a walk. I've also changed my running time to either be right at sunrise or right near sunset, as I found there's fewer people outside during those times. For me, running has not only provided exercise, but a good mental break from all the phone and television watching I've been doing. I'm able to clear my mind, get my heart pumping, and for it to be an activity to get all my stress out I currently have. So lace up those running shoes and go run. Just remember to go stretch out before you go. Number 2. Go for a walk. Yet another recommended activity by the CDC and WHO to get outside and exercise during this pandemic. When I'm outside for my run or walking the dogs since the shelter in place went into effect, I've seen more people out for a walk that I don't recognize or have never seen before, which makes me believe more people are getting outside for a walk as one of their outdoor activities to do during the day, which is good to see. So get some fresh air, walk the family, the kids, and you can even have them go for a bike ride with you as well. And if you can, go for a walk and check in on your neighbors or folks that might need help. Offer to get things from the store from them, walk their dogs if they can't go outside, help plant their garden for them, mow their lawn, water their plants, cook them a meal. I'm all about helping others in a time of need. So use your ability to get out for a walk, get some exercise, and even check in on other people to see if they need any help. You never know who may need help out there. And number 1, camping in the backyard. If you're looking for a fun activity for the whole family or kids that you can do in the backyard, then pitch a tent and pretend to be camping out in the woods, by a lake, or your favorite campground. Many states have closed public campgrounds or restricted areas for people to go camp. And as an outdoorsman who likes to get out and pitch a tent when fishing, scouting, or camping, not having the ability to get out and camp, even for a night, stinks. However, grab that tent and set it up in the backyard. When I was a kid, my brother and I would pitch tents in the front yard in the spring and summer when the weather permitted, and we pretended to be out camping while at home. We would grab some barbecue and make some hot dogs and hamburgers, then have our dad build us a small fire to roast some marshmallows for our s'mores when the sun went down. It was just like we were at the lake, watching the stars and falling asleep to the sound of crickets. And camping in the backyard, you don't have to worry about bears getting into your food or your coolers. So grab your tent, pitch it in the backyard, and enjoy a stay-at-home camping experience. Hey, did you hear that noise? I'm not opening the tent to check. Okay, if we hear it again, let's make a run for the back door of the house. And thank you guys for watching my video. Hit that like button, share with your friends, comment below on what activities y'all are doing outside, safely of course, during this coronavirus pandemic. Please stay safe out there in the outdoors during this pandemic. I'm gonna find some secret fishing spots. And for those of you that keep asking where those secret spots are, one of my secret locations is at... So I hope that helped you guys find some new fishing spots. And as always, everybody, the outdoors is a gift, share it with others.